Normally, we have heard about expat status or expat regime, but we never heard about Inpatriate regime. I'm not even sure if it's a correct English word, to be honest, but it's a direct translation from Regime Impatriati in Italian. This is what the Italian government is offering for those who wish to come back to Italy. Originally, this incentive has been designed to attract back in the country high-skilled Italian professionals immigrated abroad looking for higher salaries. But basically, it is applicable also for each foreigner who has been living abroad for the past 2 fiscal years. So, for those who wish to enroll in Italy as a tax resident, from 2020 the income generated in Italy as an employee or as a self-employed will be pressed by 70%. Only 30% of it will be taxed. Moreover, if you relocate to the south of Italy, for example, in Abruzzo, Molise, Campania, Puglia, Basilicata, Calabria, Sardinia and Sicily, then your deduction will be an incredible 90%. Only 10% of it will be taxed. So here I just prepared for you an example. I took into account an example if you decide to move to Italy in the north part of the country, and also an example if you decide to move in the south part of the country, because the calculation changed. Let's verify together. I took here an example as an employee type of income, and here the basic things, the basic concept to understand is that what we have to consider and what this regime, Impatriati regime, consider is that the differences between the gross salary and the social contribution. Because if you are talking about a payslip, if you are an employee, and basically what you have to consider is your salary without the social contribution. And this is the first example, is when we moved to the north of Italy and we got an offer of 80,000 euro per year. And because of this Impatriate regime, we will have a deduction of 70% of this 80,000 euro, and our imposable income will be 24,000 euro. But if we move our residency in the south of Italy, or better, if we decide since the beginning to move our residency in the south of Italy, we can apply this regime, and with 80,000 euro offered by the Italian company, for example, we will have a deduction, sorry, here I made a mistake, here it's 90%, we will have a deduction of 90% of our income. So the deduction will be 90% and our imposable income will be only 80,000 euro. So at this point, we have to input the imposable income into our IRPEF progressive taxation table. And in Italy, the tax rate starts from 23% up to 43%. I made a video on this, please watch it. In this video, I explain to you exactly how it works. After that, the imposable income has to be multiplied with the average IRPEF percentage. And the average IRPEF percentage is something that comes out from this average, which depends on where imposable income is falling to. Of course, we are talking about the first case 24%, so we might end up here between 50,000 euro and 28,000 euro. So the average IRPEF percentage will be an average between these two rates. Then, thanks to this calculation, we end up with the gross IRPEF. And this is the IRPEF, so is the national tax that everybody has to pay, and this tax will be subtract with tax credit and subtract with deduction after tax, which is in Italian are called detrazioni, in order to get IRPEF net. Let's take the first example with numbers. We have 24,000 euro our imposable income. We multiply for the average IRPEF that we calculate from the table, and we have 5,798.98 euro. We remove the tax credit because there is a tax credit when your income is between 80,000 euro and 26,000 euro. This is an Italian law, so we have for free 960 euro, and another detrazione because you're an employee of 1,258 euro. This detrazione is something that decreases when your imposable income increases. So the maximum detrazione possible as an employee type would be 1,880 euro. In our case, since we have 24,000 euro as imposable income, so this one,
then we have a little bit smaller detrazioni as an employee income type. And this is the IRPEF net, €3,580. At the top of this, we have to add the additional regional tax and communal tax. They are multiplied with the imposable income, and I took into account an average one. For example, the region of Lombardy has this rate, but of course every region has a different tax rate, and this depends where we want to set up our residency. And also the same thing is for the communal tax, so the additional communal tax. In this case, I took an average one, it's 0.8%, is multiplied with the imposable income, and we got €480 and €192. We have to sum the three taxes, and we got €4,180. And this is just a fiscal pressure of 5.2%. Because why it's so small, the fiscal pressure? Of course, because if you take this number, you multiply this number for 100 and you divide for 80,000 euro, this is your fiscal pressure. The second case, it's even crazier. I mean, here we have only 80,000 euro of imposable income just because we had the Impatriate regime that gave us an deduction of 90%. And then 80,000 multiplied 23%, because the 23% is the first rate here. There is no average rate, we are just using the first one. And we have 1,840 euro. No tax credit for this case, and we have, from the other hand, the maximum deduction for employee type. And that's it, we reached zero. And by law, this is the cherry on the top, by law, if the IRPEF net is zero, also the additional regional tax and additional communal tax, doesn't matter if they are multiplied for the imposable income, are null, so are basically zero. And we have, of course, a zero.
This benefit will be last for 5 fiscal years and can be also extended for the same amount of time. If you have at least a child with you registered in Italy, or if you buy a property in a country. Only 2 mandatory requirements have to be respected. Requirement number 1, as we said before, you must not have been living in Italy in the 2 last fiscal years, and you have to promise to live in the country for the entire next 24 months. Requirement number 2, your job must be carried out mainly in Italian territory, which gives you a certain flexibility to work for a few months also in another country. If you wish more details about the subject, don't hesitate to contact me at ESENtaxa@gmail.com. Especially if you are an individual and you wish to relocate to Italy for long term, I might help you to understand if you are eligible for the Inpatriate regime or not. I can provide you simulations in order to calculate your net in your pocket, in order to have a better plan for your relocation. In the description below you will find also the original article written by the Italian tax agency called Agenzia delle Entrate. Thanks for watching the video, I hope you enjoyed. Please share your feedback in the comment below and subscribe the channel.